For many, living in southeastern Queensland is becoming an endurance test, recovering from one natural disaster just in time to deal with the next. The latest storms and floods sweeping across the state of parts of northern New South Wales have seen at least 3 people die, hundreds rescued and thousands of residents ordered to evacuate, and more than 200,000 homes without power. And it's not over yet. An emergency airlift is underway to save people from the path of raging floodwaters near Bundaberg, while residents of Gympie, Ipswich and Lockyer Valley are still waiting for the worst. In Brisbane, 5,000 homes and businesses look like being inundated when the floodwaters peak. In a moment, we'll hear from Queensland Premier Campbell Newman. But first, this report from Matt Wordsworth.
Those gale force winds, when they surge, it's an almighty roar. You know, you feel like you're going to get lifted off the ground.
Emergency workers are searching for a man missing.
Tragic, the house was just about underwater. And then the worst part yesterday was that they actually watched all the contents float out.
Make your way to the roof because there is no swift water rescue working in North
upstairs now, and I'm quite alarmed. There is sewage.
Special emergency broadcasting coverage this morning across the state.
Queensland is once again a state under siege from the sky. The remnants of tropical cyclone Oswald have dumped massive amounts of rain from north to south, with homes across the state submerged in water and mud, and thousands of people sheltering in evacuation centres. Hundreds of thousands more are still in the flood's path. At Bundaberg, just west of Brisbane, Vera Otto is frantically moving what she can to higher ground.
If that goes, it's a minimal loss sort of thing.
She's already lost power and her home backs onto a creek that's rising.
You went through this 2 years ago, didn't
We
you?
did. We had 2 metres through here 2 years ago. And
how high in here?
Well, just above my head, wasn't about this high sort of thing, yeah. But, you know, we might as well, we were the only house out at the time because we're the highest point in the area. But we might as well have been fully under because, you know, you just start again. But, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Obviously it's emotional because you've been through this before, you know what it's going to be like.
And, you know, I mean, this might not be, but we'll have it out anyhow. You know, we won't have to start from scratch again, or we will. You know, last time people washed for us and, you know, everyone helped. But it's just, you know, it's just trying to get back on your feet and that sort of thing, you know. And we got no insurance last time, so, you know, that's like a kick in the guts too, so, yeah.
Her daughter Maxine says thankfully there was more warning than before the flood of 2011.
They didn't get as much time, as much notice.
Yeah.
So, nowhere near as much was saved last time. And it's probably taken until just recently, probably 6 months ago, for the house to be back to normal.
Yeah.
But at least this time, we've come from Toowoomba and there's a lot of friends helping. Daryl, how long do you think before that road is over to get the trucks in and out?
It's hard to say. Maybe,
in the back here.
probably about maybe 3 hours. Yeah.
You reckon you get it all out?
Oh, we don't know.
This evacuation effort is also trickier than most. It includes a collection of rare birds belonging to Vera's partner Gary, a breeder of about 30 years.
Are these your prized possessions, Gary?
Oh, these are... We don't actually know what they are, mate. They're a mutation of a plumhead. And they could be the only ones. Could be the only ones in Australia. We don't know. No one knows what they are.
And you lost a lot of birds last time, didn't you?
Yeah, about 200.
But it's further down the highway that there are even more bitter memories of the devastating 2011 floods. Well, we were trying to get through to the Lockyer Valley communities of Grantham and Murphy's Creek. 19 people died in that region in the flash flooding of 2011. But we were met with this. This is the Laidley Creek, and it's cut off the Warrego Highway, which is the main highway to Brisbane's west. The SES tell me it's 2.2 kilometres from this side to the other. It's about 2 metres deep, so obviously impassable to traffic, and it's lined up on both sides of the highway, waiting and hoping for a time when they can get back to their homes and businesses. Unfortunately, one business here is in terrible trouble. Apparently it's the 3rd time that the owners there have gone under, and they may not reopen. Also, further down that way is the town of Laidley. The records set in 2011 look like they've been broken this time in terms of flooding from Laidley Creek. The council says the main street is under, but they cannot assess the damage until the creek goes down. It's clear that the bill will be substantial. Laidley Creek poured into homes and businesses last night, the pressure enough to blow out shopfront windows. Paul Everly is the manager of the Exchange Hotel in Laidley and says it happened so quickly.
Basically once the bridge broke its banks, it just filled town up within half an hour. It was running up the streets and it just kept going up and up all night. But it's going down pretty fast. It took about an hour before we could see the road, and then from there it's just run away pretty quick. We'll just do what we usually do and have a beer later.
Bundaberg in Queensland's Wide Bay region is also experiencing record floods. Casey and Joel McPhee were trying to help their family but got stranded themselves. Today, happy to see familiar faces.
We made it!
People have been plucked from rooftops by helicopter, and boats in the swollen Burnett River have been smashed and run aground.
We slept in the car park over there. We've got nothing left. Our children have lost everything in the last 24 hours in their homes. We've got nothing left. If that goes, that's it. The evacuation centre here are full. They won't accept any more. And we just paid $11 for a cup of coffee.
More than 2,000 homes in Bundaberg have been affected, and authorities have issued a mandatory evacuation order for some areas, with the river still rising.
Houses, particularly in North Bundaberg and maybe other locations, could be actually swept away.
Waterways around the capital have broken their banks. The Brisbane River is set to peak tomorrow. For Paul Fozzard, it's the second time he's been hit in as many years.
We lived in Tennyson for the last flood and we got flooded out there. We were renting, so we thought, and we moved a few times. We got bailed out of there, and then we thought we would buy a place, and it's not going to happen again for another 30 years, is it?
3 people have already been killed in this disaster, 2 after being washed from river crossings. For some, the margin between life and death has been razor thin. This woman was struck by a falling tree at Kedron Brook in Brisbane. On the Sunshine Coast, the froth whipped up by the ocean nearly led to disaster for 2 police officers as a car emerged from its depths.
Oh, there's a car!
There were warnings about the dangers of sightseeing, but for many, this was an irresistible show.